Welcome, Angry Faithful. Today on Nerd Sports, episode 39, one more to 40, we're going to talk about how Cobra Kai won over in the, against Miyagi-Do.
That sounded like such a well thought out plan until you opened your mouth.
It was. By the way, Cobra Kai season 4 is out. It was actually decent.
Did you already binge the whole thing?
I didn't have anything to fucking do this weekend. I cleaned my apartment.
Because I've still got to watch Boba Fett.
Yeah, I've already watched that too.
The one or two episodes that they have?
No, it's one.
Okay.
You also got to think that I'm a guy with no life.
Well, and that's not entirely true, but okay.
Well, I didn't have anything. Okay, Thursday I didn't really work all too much, so I came home. I even finished the whole series of White Collar.
Mm-hmm. That was a great show.
Yeah, it was a great show. Then I ended up watching Cobra Kai when it came on Friday. Finished that up because all it is like 30 minutes per episode, so it was like 4 hours. And then that was about it. And I just worked out a little bit.
Yeah, so we actually have some news to report on.
I know it was a weird week this weekend.
It was. Baseball news, actually. Ken Rosenthal was fired from his job with the MLB Network because of an article he wrote criticizing the commissioner, Rob Manfred. So for the people that have been keeping score at home and have been following us over the last 39 episodes, I have made it clear that under no uncertain terms that I have absolutely zero respect, use, or need for Rob Manfred as commissioner of Major League Baseball. This move kind of comes off as a how dare you speak out against the crown kind of a thing.
I mean, he kind of fumbled the ball with the whole transfer to Denver for the All-American League game.
Then we get video bombed again by my son Reagan.
Hello, by people that are watching.
Yes, now go sit down.
Oh yeah. By the way, Marissa says she misses us. It was on the comments, so
okay.
I was actually surprised about that. I mean, her ears must have been burning or something like that because we were kind of talking about her.
I mean, we alluded to, but you said that we were talking about somebody completely different. So
I know, but that
just comes off as a little bit of contriteness, and I don't want to use the word conceit. But anyways, I digress. Yeah, so the fact that Ken Rosenthal got fired from his job at Major League Baseball, he's an amazing baseball analyst. He's an amazing columnist. The guy's got, I mean, he is basically the ear of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it just comes off as Major League Baseball just kind of throwing him under the bus, declaring, how dare you speak out against the crown kind of a thing. And I mean, not only is it not a good look, but it's needs to charge. See, even during a podcast, I still have time to father.
Yeah.
So, it's, I mean, pull him into the office and give him a talking to, fine. But just firing him because he criticizes the way that you handle the game that we all love, that comes off a bit of a baby dick energy power move on the part of Major League Baseball.
It's the way everything's going right
Well, yeah,
nowadays, though.
and the reason why I bring that up is, I mean, the 2021 season just really kind of came off from the front office as just a season of wokeness, and I'm just like, I mean, thank God the Atlanta Braves won the World Series or made it to the World Series because, well, made it to and won the World Series because it just forced baseball to come back to the city of Atlanta, which was really kind of egg in their face because, I mean, they bent over backwards to take the Midsummer Classic away from the city.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
basically a big fuck you and egg on the face, and basically, and they had to do it like several times just to do it. I was like,
yeah,
oh, you have to come back like 3 times.
yeah. You know, now the Commissioner's Trophy resides in the city of Atlanta. So
I wonder if they gave the angry me salute.
You know, part of me hopes that they did.
Yeah.
I mean, the ownership group probably just said, like that, you know. But I mean, I think it was it was probably classy and on the part of the ownership group by not mentioning the All-Star game being moved. But to me, I'm petty. I'll be honest about it. But
I mean, can they do anything to the team if they did something like that against the commissioner's wishes or anything? They can't.
At the very least, at the most, they'd be able to like fine them or something like that. But
no, okay.
But yeah, that was about it for baseball news. I mean, the lockout's still going on. No major moves or contracts are being announced or anything like that. Winter ball down in the Dominican Republic is going real strong right now. A lot of major league players are down there playing. That's just so they can, you know, get into shape, stay fresh, you know, just kind of keep their swings intact.
Yeah.
Because there's no telling how long that this lockout's going to go. There's no telling if it's going to affect spring training or not. I mean, there's so many different things up in the air right now. It's kind of ridiculous. But moving on to football, I told you before we started filming, you brought up Antonio Brown. For those of you who don't know, Antonio Brown unceremoniously stripped out of his uniform with the exception of his pants, and he took off his jersey, tossed it into the crowd, took off his undershirt, tossed it in the crowd, his receiver's gloves, tossed them into the crowd, and then left. Basically quit the team mid-game.
Well, he claimed. Okay, here's one that he's been claiming that ankle injury prevented him from re-entering Bucs game.
Well, here's the deal.
And
the league, teams around the league are notorious for doing this. If a guy is in line to get a salary bump because he's going to meet a performance bonus, like X amount of catches. Now, Antonio Brown was 7 catches away, I believe, from getting a $300,000 bonus.
He was about to make $1 million all total.
Yeah, and he was claiming that he was getting froze out of the offensive play calling.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of people that are calling him quitter, calling him a bum, calling him whiny turd. I mean, they're lobbing all kinds of names at him. But here's the thing: Antonio Brown has been in the past. Well, he's been going through some mental things. A lot of people are saying that it's like mental illnesses, things of that nature, depression, anxiety, what have you. If that is the case, I hope he gets the help that he needs. Now, people are still calling him a quitter, calling him a pussy. I mean, they're calling him all kinds of names. Everything but a black man and a Christian. Okay. Simone Biles, she did the same thing in the Olympics, and every one of us, ourselves included, were lauding her as being brave. So why the double standard? Because he's a guy and he did it He did it in a less than professional manner.
In my opinion,
If it is in fact because of mental illness,
yeah, he needs to get help.
why? Yeah, I mean, but why are we holding him to a different standard?
That is that. I mean, in allegations like this, they always. I mean, you'll hear like 50,000 different stories of the reason why he did it, and until it comes from his mouth,
right?
Then I was even talking about this to a couple of the guys up at work because they don't follow the show, they follow the football,
right?
And I was like, well, they're cheating him off a payday. I was like, well, that might be the case. That might not be the case. They still got like how many more games? Technically,
One.
maybe. Are they didn't make it into the playoffs?
It's regular season cash.
Oh, it has to be the regular season cash.
Mm-hmm.
So they could have put him in the next game, and he might have done.
He wasn't being targeted.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm not making excuses or advocating for the guy. I mean, at the very least, wait until the end of the game and just say, you know what, and keep it internal.
Yeah,
he could have handled it better. If it was a contractual issue, he could have handled it a lot better.
I mean, even what was her name? Samantha? Simone? God.
Simone Biles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She even did it in turn.
Yeah.
She didn't go out and like, no, I don't want to do this.
Well, no. She said, well, because of mental health and, I mean, she bowed out of the Olympics.
But she did it respectfully.
Right.
She didn't.
But she also cited mental health. She also cited mental health. And if it is in fact mental health with Antonio Brown, I will be willing to put money on the fact that nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, is going to retract their statement. Nobody is going to come back and say, you know what, I spoke out of turn. Nobody's going to apologize. They're going to stand by they're going to stand by their statement. And they're going to throw this guy completely and totally under the bus. We don't know what's going on. I mean, yeah, sure. I would like to say, hey, the guy quit on his team. But, because on the surface, that's what it looked like. But until we know all the facts, until we have everything that we need to definitively make an informed decision about our opinion, because what is it that we're always saying? You can come on and you can debate us about any subject on this show, but do your homework first, right?
Yeah,
that's what we're always saying.
Because we're even doing our homework when we're also doing research while we're on the fucking show, and half the time, if you hear silence, it's because we're going, okay, let's see who wins this battle. It's usually Johnny sometimes.
Hold on a second.
Were you having a problem hearing or something like that?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I've heard you the entire time. Is that your kid in the background? Can you not hear me? Well, due to Johnny's technical difficulties.
That was weird. It was like it's like my sound card just died all of a sudden.
Well,
I have no idea what was going on there. But yeah. So for about 30 seconds, I was off the air. I mean, but we're constantly telling people, do your homework, get all your facts. I'm willing to wait and reserve my judgment for when we have all the information. Now, if he comes out and he says, you know what, I quit because they were freezing me out of an additional $300,000, then yeah, I'll be like, okay, you should have and could have handled that a lot better than you did, and you quit on your team.
Yeah.
You know, go get the help that you need to learn how to be a better adult, and hopefully somebody else will give you a shot in the NFL. I wouldn't count on it, but there's always the Canadian Football Association.
Nah, they depending on his win record and everything like that, they'll bring him back. I mean, come on now. There was a certain person that did a little weird shit with dogs. They still brought him back.
Yeah, the thing about Michael Vick though, is that he paid his pittance. Or pittance to
But if he goes through therapists and everything, worked out his demons and everything, and gets the help he needs, and he comes and he wants to come back, it's the same deal. Although possibly. Michael Vick wasn't an asshole about the whole damn thing and did pull out of a tantrum. God damn it!
Tantrum.
Yeah, that. God, I can't even say the freaking word.
All right. Well, like I said, at least as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to reserve judgment until we have all the information. So this might be a developing story. I have no idea, but unfortunately, the only person that can alleviate the mystery behind it all is Antonio Brown. So
yeah.
Now that being said, I do think that he did his teammates.
I still think he was doing just for the.
He could have handled it better. Yes,
the tantrum that he could have done it better.
Again, that's assuming that he was throwing a tantrum. Okay, he could have had a mental break right there.
Well, that's true.
Okay, so I do think that at least on the surface, it appears he did his entire team dirty, to include Tom Brady, who lobbied for him to come and be a part of the team.
Yeah.
So, just saying. So to our scores for our picks for last week, we didn't actually do that bad. We had the Eagles over Washington. That was a 20-16 win for Philadelphia. We had the Rams over the Ravens. That was a 1-point margin of victory for the Rams. We had the Bucs over the Jets. Buccaneers won. We had the Titans over the Dolphins. They won. We had the Patriots over the Jaguars. They won 50-10. We had the Colts over the Raiders. Raiders actually won that game 23-20. We picked the Bengals over the Chiefs. Bengals won 34-31. We had the Bears over the Giants. That happened 29-3. We had Buffalo over the Falcons. That happened 29-15. Niners won over the Texans, which is what we had picked. We had the Broncos picked to beat the Chargers. And, well, let's just be completely honest with ourselves. Denver let us down yet again. So, yeah, there we go. So it is official policy that Angry Me Productions will never pick the Denver Broncos to ever win another game ever, ever, ever again. We had the Panthers over the Saints, and the Saints actually came back and won that game 18-10. So we got that one wrong. We had the Seahawks over the Lions. Seahawks won 51-29. We had the Cowboys over the Cardinals, and that game came down to basically two plays. Zerline missed a very easy 43-yard field goal, which should have been easy, I'd say. So that's 3 points that the Cowboys didn't have. That should have gave them the 25 points that they needed to at the very least tie. And then Dak Prescott, about halfway through the fourth quarter, fumbled the ball, and that fumble resulted in a Arizona field goal. So for all intents and purposes, the score should have been flip-flopped and should have been Dallas 25, Arizona 22. So, but then again, Dallas didn't really ever get their running game established on Sunday. So they kind of did it to themselves. We had the Packers over the Vikings. The Vikings lost 37-10. And we've got the Browns over the Steelers right now with 3:11 left in the second quarter. The Steelers are leading 7-0, and it looks as though they are in the red zone, which is the within 20 yards of the opposing team's field goal. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah, and the Steelers just kicked a field goal, so they are now up 10-0 over the Browns right now with 3:02 left in the second quarter. Cleveland they're approaching dangerous territory here of either finishing the season at 500 or that was an 11 play drive starting at the Cleveland 43. It was a 39-yard drive. Total time off the clock was 4:01, and it resulted in a field goal by Pittsburgh. So, Cleveland's going to have to do something, obviously. It looks very close to being a situation where they're going to get shut out in the first half, which, hey, nobody likes to see. But again, a lot of times these teams do that to themselves, and it is Cleveland. So, college football is a rematch of the SEC championship. We have got Georgia and Alabama facing off for the national title. I expect this game to be a little bit closer than it was during the SEC championship. Georgia just straight out got embarrassed by Alabama the first time around. So, and then of course Georgia made the made the playoff selection committee look incredibly stupid by doing to the number 2 team what they did. I mean, they absolutely embarrassed Michigan and made it look. I mean, Michigan should never, ever, 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 ever be in the college football playoffs again because of the simple reason that they suck. I mean, their national championship game should end at the end of their season whenever they play Ohio State. And they beat Ohio State this year when they weren't even favored to do so. So, they were favored to beat Ohio State, I think. Anyways, they should have just hung their hat up on that and just said, you know what, we're going to bow out of any bowl games, or we'll play in a lower seed bowl game against one of these fluffer teams that are out there. Michigan just looked all, I mean, it was embarrassing. Their offensive lineman came out wearing T-shirts that said run the ball when it should have said don't run the damn ball, because they couldn't. And it was embarrassing. Oklahoma State, they beat Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl, and they did it in pretty convincing fashion. So now Notre Dame, fun fact, is 0-6 in those bowl games. So here as of late, whenever they're playing in a top 6 bowl, they're 0-6 right now. So there's that. Trying to think of what else.
Well, we talked about yesterday. We talked about yesterday and kept on saying Barbie, and I just remember our next thing that I wanted to do was couple killers.
Yeah.
Ken and Barbie killers.
The Ken and Barbie killers. Oh.
From Canada.
Okay. All right.
But anyways,
I'm picking up what you're putting down. Okay. So.
But I don't follow College Bowl because I never did. I could never follow College Bowl because it's so confusing. Because you think someone's winning and they don't go to the big game.
Well, college ball got incredibly convoluted because whenever they came out with this FBS, which is the I mean, it's basically whenever they got away from the polls, the coaches and sports writers polls, it got really about what conferences were willing to pay the money to have the judges who voted, to have the committee kind of stacked in their favor. Because ever since the college football playoff system was introduced about 8 years ago, roughly, it's been pretty much all SEC all the time. Because
I think it was longer than that. Because
No.
when I started hearing about it was like in 2009.
in its current configuration.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, they were like, okay, well, we're going to have this, but when they're selecting the top 4 teams, are you in or are you out? Alabama's won 6 of the last 8 national championship games. And I hate to say that I hate Alabama, man, but I just really,
you have a real disliking for him.
I want to see somebody else win because I really can't stand Nick Saban.
Well, that's the thing about college bowls. Went Texan there. Is the basic fact of it's constantly changing because usually they have like a good player only 4 years.
If that, I mean, if the player is that good, he can leave a year early during his junior season or after his junior season and declare himself eligible for the draft. Do I think that they need to change that? Yes and no. You got a full ride scholarship a lot of times from these colleges to play ball. You still have a year of eligibility left. Finish your education. I think that should be. I think to at least a degree. If not changing it, I think. I think that if you're going to come out a year early and declare yourself eligible for the draft and you get drafted to the NFL, I think that it should be a requirement that within the next 2 years, you finish your degree from that school, whether it's done in an online setting or not. But you should still be able to put in. I mean, because you think about it, the NFL goes from September to February.
Yeah, they still have time to finish up their degree, and
you have time to finish your degree. Be the example.
Training camp. When's the training camp start?
Training camp start in August, or I think the end of July, first part of August.
Oh, let me look it up while you talk.
But I think that you should be required to finish your degree. I really do, and because it puts a bigger premium on the education. And because, I mean, a lot of these guys, they're beating the crap out of their bodies, and you're seeing guys retire from the NFL. Or what do? They go into TV, or they get a coaching job somewhere, which had nothing to do with their degrees. 99.999% of the time. Now,
say it sucks. It's looking like the end of July, but it varies from which team.
It just depends on the team. So,
yeah,
I mean,
but it's
in a lot of cases,
usually around at the end of July.
Right.
So they have plenty of time to go to school.
Right. I mean, it took Emmitt Smith a while to do it, but he went back and he finished his degree with the University of Florida. And you start to see a lot of these guys do it. Larry Fitzgerald, he finished his degree through the University of Phoenix, I believe it is. But he actively was pursuing a degree while he was playing. And the guy's incredibly intelligent. Among other things, I mean, the guy has every right to make it to the Hall of Fame, in my opinion, because I mean, he's a solid player. He was an example of what not to do on and off the field, or of what to do and what not to do. I mean, he kept in mind that he has an image to protect and a team to represent. And he was one of those few players that looked at it as, I'm not just representing my team or the NFL, I'm representing the name on the back of my jersey.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of these guys tend to forget. You know, they go out and they have this prima donna mentality, and a lot of times they'll go out and they'll underperform for the money that they're asking for. You know, and that never sets up a good example, never sets a good precedent for other players. It doesn't set up a good example for their kids if they've got any, or even the kids that look up to them. And we've discussed this on this show, that whether or not they choose to acknowledge it or even want to admit it, they're a role model for somebody.
Yeah. And you also have the basic fact of half the time when they choose to be less of a role model, they're still going to be a role model.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's even in a lot of the contracts for people that do Disney movies, as they have to do some charity work. They have to go to a children's hospital. They have to, and everybody's like, it's PR / giving back to the community and everything, and they get that credibility. It was like, oh, these people, and it's good for the actor, it's good for the company type deal.
Yeah. Well, even Marshawn Lynch, the Beast. Even all the way through the time that he retired when he was playing for Seattle too. He always went back to Oakland, where he's from. And he was trying to rebuild his community. Donates turkeys during Thanksgiving, or he'll go during the Christmas time era, and pay off people's layaways, or, donate meals. I mean, the guy's constantly going out of his way. And, the NFL's got the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, where every team nominates one of their players for doing work within their community. And, people like J.J. Watt have won it in the past. And I think that's why on his jersey, he gets to wear the Walter Payton Man of the Year patch on his jersey. And, and to me, I'm like, okay, those guys get it. That's what it's about. They understand that they and I hate using this line because it's so overplayed, but with the power that they're given comes an equal amount of responsibility. Okay. And yes, I'm getting chuckles from my kid. Huh?
We get it.
I was
with
trying
great
to
power comes with great responsibility. Yeah. This is nerd sports. You get to say that shit.
Again, I know, but God, dude, it was so cringe when Aunt May butchered the shit out of it in No Way Home.
Yeah, that was kind of the cheesiest part.
And spoiler alert, serves her right. Because the second she uttered that line, you saw the other two Uncle Bens from the multiverse, along with the Watcher, going, and with that statement, she sealed her fate.
Yeah, basically.
But
oh, she's dead.
Oh, she gonna die. But it's
kind of makes me wonder. It kind of makes me wonder.
Wait,
what happened to Uncle?
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? It's almost if 1,000 voices cried out in pain, and suddenly there was silence. Did we forget to say spoiler warning?
No, fuck that. Anyways, I mean, it made $1 billion.
It's been 3 weeks since the movie came out.
Dude, it made $800 million its first opening weekend. No, nobody cares.
No, it was
Everybody's seen it.
$325 million opening weekend, and it's grossed globally over $1 billion already.
Yeah, it's one of those things everybody knows.
Yeah,
but anyways,
I mean, you only get that. Don't spoil the end of Spider-Man for like what, 2 weeks max. It's been 3, so I think we're past that.
Yeah. No, you know what I kind of wonder now? What made Peter Parker want to be Spider-Man if he's never heard of that thing until that exact moment? It's like, wait a minute, what happened to Uncle Ben now? Because if he just died of a heart attack and then Aunt May ended up, doing all that stuff, I'm like,
well, okay, so
there's
in Civil War, when Tony Stark visited his apartment,
okay,
he was already out doing things, and he said, "Look, I've only had these powers for 6 months. I just want to make my part of the world better." So, I mean, he already had that goodness in his heart. And he wasn't driven to kill until Aunt May died. And he had the opportunity to exact revenge upon the person that did it. And Tobey Maguire stepped in and saved him from that dark path.
Yeah. But now you still have to wonder what happened to Uncle Ben then.
I read somewhere, there was an article somewhere, somebody had clarified the fate of the MCU Uncle Ben. I didn't take the time to read it because I didn't want to sift through 7 pages of ads. It's one of those, I'm not falling for that bullshit. I'm going to go to the comment section and look for the answers, gang.
Okay.
Zoinks! Oh my gosh. Like, we're not falling for that crap, Scooby. Oh, no.
I don't need that penis pump. Let's just go for the flow.
Right? Like, I think that's groovy that I'm screwing up the voice here. Hold on, let me see here. Like, there's moms that are like within a mile of my house, Scoob. No, I don't need that. Yeah. But seriously, it's yeah, no, I didn't read that article. I know there's one floating around out there. But yeah. There is a stuntman out there in the Twitterverse that may have accidentally spoiled or let something out of the bag. He's a stuntman in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And one of his friends tweets out, "Hey, congratulations on TM or TASM 3, right?" And he was like, "Yeah, boy, thanks a lot. I just hope that Kevin Feige doesn't see this."
What?
The Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Oh no, they've already have they're already going to do Amazing Spider-Man 3. They're going to do
I know, but this was like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
they're in talks with Emma Stone. They're going to do they're in talks with her about doing a Spider-Gwen movie. I think Sony at this point, they're trying to pump out as much Spider-Verse material as they possibly can to drive up the asking price for Disney.
Well, he's already on contract for 3 more films, but he already said he's going to take it easier because he wants to have
right. But every time there's a Spider-Man movie that is about to go into production, Sony wants to come back to the table and say, we want to rework the deal because we're not happy with it.
Yeah,
Far From Home almost didn't happen, or No Way Home almost didn't happen because Sony wanted to throw a huge fit about merchandising rights.
Yeah, which I think
because Marvel came in and said, "Fine, you want the rights to you want the box office profits, go for it. We get the toy merchandising rights."
I thought there was something else too. I think was it Civil? It was no, that was the first appearance of Spider-Man they were having trouble with, and that was for Civil War.
Yeah.
They had two scenes in that, and then they had Spider-Man in the movie.
Yeah.
But anyways, now we have to do our picks of the week.
Season finale edition. Oh, hey, yeah. And Happy New Year, you ungrateful fucks. This is the first Nerd Sports Show of 2022.
I know.
All right, so we're going to go schedule. Come on, there we go. Week 18. All right, so we're going to go here.
Oh, quick thing. I seen this and I wish I just shared it. I was in a rush. I watched it and I was like, oh, fuck, I got to go do something. It was a person had called up a vegan in a barbecue place and put it on speaker and let them talk.
Mm-hmm.
It was so hilarious. The guy that was he's like, I'm a vegan. I must have dialed got the not wrong number and everything. And the guy the meat guy was like, oh no, we got you on hook. We're gonna do this shit. We're gonna do this right. You want a pig? We make pork belly sandwiches. We still have the nipple still attached to it. I mean, I actually kind of want to taste that now. Is that a nipple from the pig? Yes, it is. Thank you, sir. You're a gentleman and a scholar. I'm going to eat this pig nipple.
Okay, I'm jumping ahead here. Let me see. You hear my youngest son in the background trying his hardest not to laugh out loud.
You know, she's hot, but now after like 2 kids, I still wonder how low to the ground her tits are going to be. Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Wow, dude. That was completely random, and I was not prepared for that statement.
Well, she's had 2 kids, so.
Yeah.
And you can't keep
and I know people that have had 4 kids and their bodies are still pretty banging.
Yeah. I mean, her body's still banging.
Let me retract that statement. I know people who have had 4 kids and their body is incredibly banging.
Yeah.
I know a person, to be specific, about that. Let's see here. I'm just typing out all of these. You know what? All right. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to get into this real quick. I just wanted to kind of get ahead so that way I could look ahead and try to rationalize a little bit or hear my arguments, pros, cons, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right. So top of the list, we're looking at the Chiefs and the Broncos because we have now made it policy officially here at Angry Meat Productions and specifically Nerd Sports. We will never pick the Broncos to win a game ever again because they are just highly disappointing. So we're going to take the Chiefs over the Broncos. The Cowboys and the Eagles. This game really has no meaning because the Cowboys have already locked up the division, and the Eagles, by virtue of the Packers beating the Vikings yesterday, have locked up a playoff spot. So there's really nothing up for grabs here, period. But we're still going to take the Cowboys over the Eagles. we're going to take the Packers over the Lions because, let's face it, the Lions, yeah, well, okay. Anyways, the Colts are going to bounce back after that disappointing loss to the Raiders last week, and they're going to beat the Jaguars. Washington over the New York Football Giants. Titans are going to exact some revenge over the Texans. That game may be a little bit close, but I think that the Titans will pull that one out, and they'll embarrass the Texans on their home field. I'm going to take the Steelers over the Ravens, just because I don't think Lamar Jackson's going to be back. I think the Ravens are going to miss the playoffs, and yeah, it's going to end up being a disappointing season for Baltimore, unfortunately. The Bengals and the Browns. We're going to take the Bengals on that one, just basically due to the fact as to how well the Bengals are playing right now, how miserably dismal the Browns are playing right now. The 49ers are kind of lackluster. They're still capable of beating teams, obviously, with a 9-7 record, but we are going to take the Rams at 12-4 to beat the Niners. The Buccaneers are going to play the 5-11 Panthers. Buccaneers are going to finish the season at 13-4 after next week's defeat over the Panthers. The Cardinals were figuring some stuff out yesterday versus Dallas, so they're going to continue that trend, and they're going to tune up their roster. They're going to beat the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are going to finish the season at 6-11. The Patriots are going to advance to 11 wins after they defeat the Dolphins next week. That's who we're picking. Not the Dolphins, but the Patriots, obviously. And then let me see here. The Saints versus the Falcons. This is a demonstration of mediocrity at its finest. But we're going to take New Orleans to beat the Falcons. The Jets are going to lose miserably to the Bills. The Jets led the Buccaneers for most of the game yesterday, but Tom Brady, doing what Tom Brady does, had his 67th game-winning drive of his career against the Jets yesterday, and the Bills are going to embarrass New York. New York's going to fall to 4-13. It's going to be glorious to watch that pyrotechnics display. In the last game of the regular season is the Chargers at the Raiders. I'm a little torn on this one. Both teams have a 9-7 record. I really, 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 really want to say I really want to lean towards the Raiders. I'm just not entirely sure. I mean, honestly, this is a coin toss, but I'm not going to actually throw a coin. So we're gonna take the Raiders over the Chargers. And that's our story. We're sticking to it. And let me go onto Facebook so that way I can post our picks real quick. And when I pull up my Facebook page to log into our page, I get the U.S. Army WTF Moments page pop up, and it says, you got to make sure those cast members thank you for your service. You might get a free funnel cake out of the deal. And it shows a Disney cast member out of costume escorting a soldier in his OCPs. And there's no context for this picture whatsoever. Buddy's faces are blurred out, so I'm willing to bet. And this guy has got no qualification. He's a freaking private. Oh my God. He went to Disney World or Disneyland in his basic training OCPs while he was on leave. Oh my goodness. Yeah, because you can barely see the U.S. Army patch that they give all the basic trainees to wear on their uniforms so they don't feel neglected. Oh, wow. That is.
You get a patch?
You get
I just get a ribbon.
what basically is affects to is a unit patch signifying that you're in training. It's the U.S. Army Recruiting Command patch.
Oh,
It's fucking lame.
we get a ribbon.
But I mean, you don't get a patch to like wear permanently. I mean, in the Army, you wear your unit patch, the one that you're currently assigned to, on your left shoulder, on your left sleeve.
Yeah.
And that's where that patch goes.
Oh no, we have to wear our ribbon that we completed basic training our entire freaking career.
Oh no. You don't get a ribbon for completing basic training. You get an Army service ribbon. You get a National Defense ribbon. If you completed basic training during the Global War on Terror, you get a Global War on Terrorism ribbon. It goes on and on and on. Okay, so NFL season finale picks. You don't like them? Tough titty, said the kitty, when the milk ran dry. Booyah. Okay.
I'm about to trumpet.
By sticking a flute in your pussy at band camp?
No.
You said trumpet, so I assumed that you were talking about a brass instrument.
Only at band camp. I'm trying to find the what the fuck is this? Okay. I like that one. I'm going keep the okay, there we go. At the
Oh, did you laugh react to it?
No, I wasn't laughed reacting to that.
Oh, okay.
It's the meme I'm about to put up.
Wait. Psychologist, all dreams have meaning. My dream. Okay. Wait, hold on. I've got something for this.
We're gonna have a battle. Now this is what I was I found while I was scrolling to try to find our stuff, so I can redo it on my page, and you do it on your page, and but anyways, I guess this is the end. We can get
just a second here.
the hell.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
See what you did. Man, I hate when you put it on the actual Facebook page, don't you?
Yeah. Where
Oh,
else am I going to put it?
on the Instagram page. You put it on the Instagram page and it carries over to the Facebook page.
Fine, then just repost it.
I'll fucking just repost it.
Fine, because I don't have the password to the Instagram account.
No, it's automatic. All you have to do is through the business page. Chris, why not the business page? People are gonna wonder why we're arguing like little bitches again. And they're just gonna realize, you know. Anyways, I guess that's it.
There
I
we
gotta
go.
what?
Uh-oh.
Oh my god. That is very thought out.
And for those of you who don't know, David posted a meme on our podcast page, and it's a Barbie stuffed into a raw chicken body holding up a cap gun, and it's talking about psychologists all have dreams, and that's his dream. So my reply was, so this dream tells me that you have issues with large women holding you at gunpoint while you were forced to contract salmonella as well as a myriad of other STDs. Am I close, David? Do.
There we go. And there we go.
Okay. If you don't do it, you might need to reevaluate your life goals. If you don't, okay. If you okay.
Wait a minute. Oh, damn it.
No, you're good. No, it's already out there. I mean, seriously.
No, I gotta take off that. I don't know why, but my
yeah, just doubling up on your words, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You love those buttons way too much.
Why? Yes, I do.
Oh no!
Oh
yeah!
Okay. Anyways.
I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Johnny Skelton, and this episode was recorded in front of a live studio audience.
It wasn't.
Okay. Anyway,
unless you're talking about the
I
other
felt
personalities in my head.
What was it? It was remember how some of those shows you spent sit boo boo sit. Oof, good dog.
Yeah. You need to find that, put it on the thing.
Right? Yeah, I need to find that sound clip somewhere. Anyways, yeah, I'm Johnny Skelton. This is David Dickerman, and this is episode 39 of
We're almost
Nerd
40.
Sports.
40.
We're almost to 40. So thank you for allowing us to infiltrate, occupy, and lubricate your ear holes for the last, hour?
Yeah.
Thank us for our service, and we out.